something that I was told at a young age that's always stuck with me, or that they've always told me. And that's be confident, be you, be strong, and good things will happen. And work hard and always dream. So, yeah.
One piece of advice from my mom that has always stuck with me is to always speak up for myself and to never let anyone walk all over me. I used to remember my mom talked to me about bearing the consequences of my actions. So one thing she told me that I used to remember today is that I have to really bear with the responsibility of the things I do.
If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself.
To always be safe and do what you want to do and not what other people want to do.
To always just be safe and do the right thing at all times, and everything will be fine.
The third thing is one thing my parents have told me, and it's definitely to worry about yourself and not what everybody else is doing. So that's one of the quotes that I specifically always remember about what my parents told me.
One piece of advice is don't drink from a cup that you've never seen poured or you haven't poured yourself. And don't let anyone force you into what you don't want to do. Because remember, it's your body, your choice, and you always have the right to say no or to stop, or if you don't like anything, you can just speak up with your voice. To that last part, I pause.
Okay. Mine is don't let anyone steal your joy, not even yourself. Because don't let no one dull your sparkle. You are amazing. You're beautiful, and do you, because that's all that matters. So yeah. Yeah. Pop it up. Yeah. Okay.
End the video. And the best advice they've ever given me was to keep on working hard and never stop.
And the best piece of advice my mom has ever given me was probably to just stay true to yourself and never let others influence you too much.
One piece of advice that my parents have shared with me is that there's no need to rush in life, but there is a difference between being timely and rushing. There's a big difference.
And then one piece of advice my mom has always given me is think before you talk, because you can always say things like, for example, when you're mad that you don't mean, and then you end up regret saying later. So I would say that.
A piece of advice that my parents have given me is to not do things quicker just to get there faster, to take my time and do things correctly.
And then one piece of advice would probably to be to do what you need to do first and then what you want to do later. And I know that probably seems generic, but it helps me a lot because I have really bad procrastination. So, yeah.
A piece of advice my mom always gives me is to never limit yourself or belittle yourself. So.
And a piece of advice that my parents have shared with me is to never feel like I should be forced into anything, and always have respect for myself and for my partner.
One piece of advice that my parents have shared with me that I remember to this day is to always stay true to myself, especially growing up and entering high school, to always remember to be myself.
And a piece of advice that my parents have told me that still resonate with me today is to not let anyone take advantage of me.
One piece of advice that my mom has shared with me that has always stuck with me is that a minor setback is a setup for a major comeback. And that's really just helped me realize that the small little things that upset me aren't going to matter in the long run. And it's okay to feel in the moment, but don't let it overwhelm you and stress you out. And a piece of advice that my dad has always given me and will continue to remind me to this day is to not let my guard down easily, no matter how much you want to, just to make sure that you can trust the people around you.
The best piece of advice, probably would just be myself. I guess that's one that I continue to repeat to myself every day.
One piece of advice that my parents have shared was for me to advocate for myself and go after every opportunity, because even though you may not get those opportunities, you don't want to miss out on anything because you didn't even attempt.